Today we are taking a deep dive on something called yak chews that are made of yak milk, supposedly. And today we're also gonna talk about pluses, minuses, and how potentially to eliminate those minuses. That's gonna be our fix column. So, what is Himalayan organic dog chew? If you don't know, it's supposed to be made only from 4 ingredients, and that's why it's considered all natural. It's supposed to have to be made from yak milk, and this is how yaks look. I'm gonna let it play for you. So these are the yaks in the Himalayan mountains roaming around. The second ingredient is milk, and then there is salt and lime juice to curdle the dairy products to get the cheese, right? So that cheese is for a very long time is boiled and then it's dried out and once for months originally. And I was looking if I spelled yuck correctly. I did. So here's a dude kind of like making this cheese like with the original recipe. Uh, I, I'm thinking, guessing he's a Nepalian guy. So you can kind of find this video, and if you're interested, kind of look through the whole process, right? So this is what it's supposed to be, and this is what we are advertised, and of course, this is how the original people of Nepal look or looked. I don't know. I haven't been there. You let me know in the comments if you have. So it would be really cool, right, to get your dog a really healthy, organic, all natural, high protein, lactose free, low odor chew. And I probably should start writing this for you guys. Go back to my iPad. So we're gonna go and say it's all natural, right? I'm gonna go in pluses here. All natural. It's great. High protein. It's lactose free. You might be wondering, why is it lactose free, right? Because I just mentioned that it's made from yak milk, and it's also made with addition of dairy cow milk. It's because in the process, the lactose, how you say it in English, disintegrates, and also these guys say it very well. I'm going to show you here. Not this guys, not this guys, not this guys, not this guys, this guys. So we're going to come back to this, but what is, what here? How is it made? Add link here. Okay, so where is it? Okay, here. Milk is pasteurized and processed to create our lactose-free cheese. So basically, this is exactly how it's happening. If we tap learn more, in the next phase, the milk is pasteurized to ensure product safety and uniformity. Once the milk thickens after consistent beating and stirring, the butter is extracted, making the Yeti dog chew low in fat. Next, the remaining milk is heated again until white cheese starts forming to remove the lactose and make the hardened cheese. So this is why it's lactose free. Gonna go back to where we were. Yeah, we're gonna come back to this thing. All right, so if we go back, so this is why it's lactose free. Another great thing that it is low odor. I'm gonna take one out. And it's literally doesn't smell like anything. It has no smell, and even when the dog does chew on it, which I have a video here somewhere. Where is it? Give me one sec. Yeah, so you can see here, my dog is chewing on this yak chew, and I'm holding it for him. So even when he's chewing it for a while, there is still no smell. So nothing bad to say here. Let's see what is next. So it is long lasting. One chew can last literally forever. Even I went on Reddit and I read a bunch of reviews, and even people who are not very keen on them, everybody do say that even with aggressive chewers, these things last like for weeks, literally. Versus like bully sticks, some dogs can munch at one like in an hour. Next one is teeth cleaning. So supposedly cleaning, as the dog chews on those, and I'm gonna go back to this, to my dog chewing on one. So as they chew on the stick, it scrapes the soft plaque, and it also massages their gums, which me as a dentist, I can see this happening. However, this is definitely nothing to do with actual dental teeth cleaning. And if your dog has bad teeth or a lot of hard plaque, that's not going to help. It's just maybe like kind of a nice preventative measure, one of them, but don't rely on it like 100%. Next one is it's mentally stimulating, which it is. I'm going to write this down as well in my list here. Mentally stimulating, which the dogs, as you know, need to chew things. And that this is why one stick can entertain them for about an hour, and they shouldn't be really chewing for more than that. Maximum, I would say 90 minutes. Now, another great point is that it's minimal ingredients. Like I said, there are only 4 ingredients. It's yak milk, cow milk, it's lime juice, and it's salt. So only 4 ingredients, which is always cool, honestly, because so many things, and especially the dog food, has so many fillers and additives that our dogs don't really need. That's why it's always nice to see a product that is all natural and has minimal ingredients. It's always a good thing. Now, this is very nice. These are good things about the yak chews, but there are some quite bad things about them as well. But before we get into that, I wanted to show you guys how they are actually made now, because, we're marketed this. We're marketed this. It's a two yaks standing on a freaking mountain. Is this actually true? Because obviously all of this is advertised to us like, oh, all natural, those beautiful yaks are standing in the mountains, and that's where your cheese comes from. Well, I don't think that there is enough cheese in the world to be selling in this amounts for those Nepalian farmers to actually make. So what I did is I went to Alibaba, and if you're not familiar with Alibaba, this is where all the suppliers, big factories are. And a lot of people know Alibaba as a Chinese supplier. However, there are also other factories there as well from different countries like India. And turns out to be that Nepal is there too. So, how this works is this is a classical um, advertising of a factory. So, you can see you can actually order here with a minimum of 100 kilograms. This is their minimum order quantity. So, $10, $15. You can order this from them here, and they gonna do your company name logo. It's already gonna come pre-packaged for you. Different sizes they have, custom packaging. You're gonna just slap, they gonna slap your logo. They're gonna um, pack them pretty in this nice little sack that gives you this organic feel, and you're gonna be off to the races to sell on Amazon your organic yak chews. And but the interesting thing about this, honestly, I was surprised because I thought I'm gonna find a bunch of Chinese suppliers who supply those things, but this very first supplier actually is in Nepal. It's the company is called Samayak International Private Limited, located in Nepal. You can see it right here. Manufacturer, trading company, distributor, wholesaler, 10 years on Alibaba. So and then they have this cute video here. I hope you can see. Yeah, I'm just checking that you guys can see. So they show this whole thing here, and they show Nepal. You let me know if this looks like Nepal to you. I haven't been there. It is on my bucket list, of course. So this is here their factory. This is they're pressing the cheese. Here the mountain view, of course, to make you believe that they're there. And this is what the cheese looks like. Look how many cheeses are drying out. It's basically a hard cheese made from yak milk. That's what they're saying. So supposedly this is their factory, and since they're 10 years on Alibaba, I don't I don't think they're lying. I mean, I don't know, but this is what it looks like. Which again, I'm super surprised to see them here because I was expecting Chinese suppliers faking Nepal cheese. And here we have 100% natural, limited ingredients, made using traditional techniques in the foothills of the Himalayan mountains, and just 3 simple ingredients. So they even have yak milk, salt, and lime juice. Wow. So, guys, this is very interesting. So, what I just wrote to you here in the my list, this is actual a regular ingredient list what I saw on all the Amazon products. So, but these guys are really legit and they don't even add cow milk. So, this is even cooler. You know what I mean? Like this is even better. Um okay, so there are no preservatives, which is not supposed to have anyways. And so, okay, so that's interesting. The Mighty Paw cheese sticks are naturally rich in protein and calcium, which is great for healthy muscle growth and as well as bone health. So here they are kind of disclosing that's where those guys are ordering from. So let's quickly go ahead and Google the Mighty Paw cheese sticks. Okay, so clearly Mighty Paw is ordering from these guys. Let's see if they have that sack or they might have custom packaging. My internet is not that great. Hello? It's gonna load or what? Let's see if they have that sack with them or not. I don't see a sack. If you know how they come and if you have ordered from my depot, let me know. So here it says handcrafted in the Himalayas by Nepalese dairy farmers. So this is actually a legit claim, like we've discovered, because we found their supplier on Alibaba. So this is pretty cool. So honestly, if I would be buying somewhere, I would be buying from these guys, because now we know that this is quite legit. So if we go back to, I'm gonna close this off. Yeah, so this is how it looks, right? This is their factory pictures. This is their thing. That's what they will slap your logo here, and you're off to the races. So now let's talk about minuses of this yak chews. And let me tell you, there are a lot. So go back to this. Number one, it's they are too hard. They are too hard, and what does it mean? Is that means that it causes tooth fractures. It was error computer crash fractures. Tooth fractures. So it's kind of they go together. Too hard, tooth fractures. Okay. So we have a lot of Reddit people saying that all these minuses, we're gonna go through them. But my poor boy chipped his tooth on a yak chew. Please be careful out there. So luckily it was just one of his puppy canines, and I've been told to just wait until it falls out naturally. So let's take this dog chew out. It's a yak cheese stick, of course. And so there is this test that the vets are doing. If you cannot put your nail inside the dog chew, that means it's too hard. You cannot put your nail here, which does mean it's too hard, and that's why certain dogs are fracturing their teeth. We're gonna go back to Reddit and see one more of those. My bossy doodle broke 2 teeth on them and had to have them pulled. It's just not worth the risk of permanent teeth loss and the expensive vet bill that goes along with it. All right, so gonna close this one, gonna close this one. Another one, my dog broke a tooth on a yak chew and got an abscess. 2K on animal dentist and antibiotics. The vet dentist said no antlers and yak chews. All right, so this is something else. So basically, this is what happens. And however, there is a fix. There is a fix. So the fix here, there are a couple of fixes. So people do soak them in water for 10-15 minutes. Soak in water for 10-15 minutes. And then they kind of get softer, and you give it to your dog. My writings are horrible, by the way. Sorry about it. I hope you understand what I'm writing. Okay, and then next minus kind of goes together with next fix. So they can be choking hazard. And I'm gonna put it here because I want some room here. Choking hazard. Why are they choking hazard? Because once the chew is almost gone, just like the bully stick, this one piece can be swallowed by the dog. And when they swallow it, we go back to this little guy. Went for surgery to have spade and gastropexy. Today, Winnie had hard rock in her stomach. Additional surgery to her stomach to find out what she ate was a yak chew. undigested huge piece in her stomach and pieces in her bowels. Be careful with them. So this is basically what happens. They ingest a big piece of it and it gets lodged in their stomach, which a lot of times they don't pass it through and they have to have a surgery. Now, that's why a lot of people put them in those holders just like for the bully stick. So this way, I don't have it right now, but I'm going to show you. So this is what it would look like if you're not familiar with that, but this would be a bully stick holder. So you can put your dog yak chew in this thing and this is what it's going to look like, right? Any of this will work, and this way they will not ingest that piece. So we're going to say use bully stick holder, or they even make special folders for holders for them. Now, there is also something else here yet. I'm gonna put here. I'm good. So there isn't. I'm like thinking how to better align this. So there is two things. There can little piece in the end, or there can be like a splinter. So some people have been reporting that the bad Himalayan dog chews, they actually are kind of like grayish color, which mine I think are not. And when they are, not always, but that's one of the signs, they splinter. And so the dog actually able to chew out like a big piece. And when they do, that's a very sharp piece and they can choke on it, or again, it can go inside their stomach and it can even penetrate their intestines, right? Or it can get lodged there. So it can be dangerous, and that's why freaking supervise your dog always with any chews. So we're gonna say here, another solution here is to supervise. And I even read on Reddit today that somebody actually said that they don't supervise their dog with the chews because they have the attitude it's going to be fine. Well, it's going to be fine till it's not fine. That's why you see me here holding this thing and literally looking at him, because I don't want this to be a problem. You can see he's like going at it. I would never leave him with this thing alone, because again, I never trust any of these products, because number one, they're just created, they're made by humans, and humans make mistakes. So it doesn't mean that the product always is bad, but humans make mistakes, and sometimes there is just an error. So you don't want your dog to become an error also, and then end up sick with a surgery or maybe even dead. So let's go back. Now, how else to fix this? And we're gonna go to the third fix of this. This is all goes kind of here, right? So the third fix is to microwave it. Microwave it. So what happens with it is this. It's gonna restart. So you basically insert the nugget, or basically your piece of this bully stick, in the microwave, and you're gonna microwave it for 60 seconds. Here it comes now. And the nugget will expand 2x size to a crunchy treat. And after it cools, let your dog play with it. So a lot of people are doing this on Reddit. They puff them up and they let them eat that instead of chewing it, because it does become softer, and now they're not going to fracture their teeth on it. However, there is another problem here, is that somebody, let's see, somebody, yeah, that was a splinter. That was another splinter, right? Yeah, we're going to come back to this. So I don't have this one here yet, but basically what happened is that somebody microwaved it. They went outside, gave their Frenchie this puffed up thing without a holder, like I just showed you. No holder, just a puffed thing. And they left the dog with it because they were training with those things as treats. So they gave the treat and they left to wash their hands. But as they were walking to their kitchen inside, while the dog was outside, they turned around and they saw that their dog was kind of running, but kind of running weird way. So the person ran to the dog and saw that the dog was choking on that cheese puff, because somehow it got like weirdly, like the dog ate only half a piece of it, and then the second piece was kind of like all mushed, and they got it into their throat and they were choking. So they performed and they were trying to get it out, right? But they couldn't, because it completely obstructed the whole thing and they were just making it worse. So they turned the dog upside down and the piece fell off. And they were saying that it's crazy that their dog could have died if they would actually not look back and would just go to the kitchen. So apparently those popcorn things can disintegrate in littler in smaller pieces, and those can lodge in their throat as well. Dangers everywhere. That's why I think these guys came up with this idea with this holder, and I think with this holder this is very much avoidable. So you can see the dog can only reach to it a little bit, and this actually reminds me the same situation with ice. If you've been giving your dog ice, um, you know, or you don't know, I don't know, but they can also fracture their teeth on the ice. Same story here, and there is a product called mm, I don't remember. It's not liquidy ice. What is it? It's called something like paw something. Ah, sure. Paw. Oh, woof. Woof. Oh my God, I don't remember. Yes. So it's called Woof Popsicle. So basically, you freeze that thing, and now they also cannot get to the ice, but they can enjoy the frozen treat. It can be water or it can be something frozen, and they have to lick like this. And it's very nice. And this is what this reminds me. Where is it? Similar concept, basically. Okay, so I think we spent a bunch of time here on this. Let's go next. So next one is overeating diarrhea. Um, how do you spell diarrhea here? So obviously, your pup can have allergy on it, no matter what. So this is really not fixable. So what to do? Obviously, try. Try. Try first, small quantity. And if you notice any signs of bloat, diarrhea, don't give it. Very simple. And some dogs just gonna have diarrhea to them. They will have reaction. It doesn't mean that all the dogs will have reaction. So you will have to try and test and see. But like I said, don't give them the full stick for 90 minutes for the first time. Just give it a little bit for the first time, for the first week, gradually increase and see how they react. Okay? So now it's really not for puppies because puppy teeth are softer and you have a higher possibility of a tooth fracture. Now, supervision needed, but I kind of already said that, but we'll still have to put it as a minus. Supervision needed. And actually, I'm going to show you that Reddit post. Where is this? Yeah. Mm. A few minutes later, I heard a big cracking sound, and he's got a little throat obstruction from a splintered off piece. He got it down okay after some panicking on my part, but it was very anxious few seconds. The others were great. I even ordered more yesterday, but I'll be avoiding giving him the grayish colored, darker colored ones this time, if there are any. So that's kind of what I mentioned before about the grayish color, but also, again, supervision needed. You never know when it's going to be a bad one or they're going to manage to do something with the chew or with the toy. You always want to supervise your dog, okay? Raven is enjoying himself. Okay, so next one will be wrong size risk. We are running out of room here. Okay, so wrong size risk. It's kind of obvious, but it's kind of not. So these ones, for example, are small size and they are for small dogs. So if you're gonna give this size to a bigger dog, they will have a chance again to choke on it because it's too small for them. So for large dog, large size, or small dog, small size. It's very easy. Just buy the right size. Okay. Here. Next one is well, we already kind of talked about end piece danger. Yeah, we did. So yeah, I think it's pretty much it. Power. There is another one that we can talk. It's called power chewer warning. The power chewers can split their teeth, like I said, and they can also eat a bunch of it. And it's just they also okay. I guess we should cover that what they can do. So power is he's literally laying on my iPad. What happened? Okay, he even managed to change the color. Okay, last one. Power chewer warning. Okay, so they can split this thing in half. So it's a little bit different situation than having an end piece when they finish the chew. This their teeth are so strong that they can actually like get big pieces out of this and again ingest and again end up in the hospital. So again, the solution would be to supervise, would be right size, and watch your dog in the means that if that's what's happening and you're seeing that that's what's happening, you cannot give this. You're just gonna switch to something else. Okay. So now there are like a bunch of brands, and all the brands are claiming that they are the only one. So I'm gonna quickly list some of them that I think are pretty cool. You can take screenshots of this if you want. It's Mighty Paw, because we already discovered that they have great supplier from actual Nepal, right? Now I think that another one that I liked was this one. Not this one, not this one, not this one, not this one. Where are you? Come on, guys. So that was Mighty Paw. So we're gonna close this up. Where is that one that we were doing the popcorn? Can you believe this? I actually closed it. Mighty Paw. Yeti Dog Chew? Yeah, Yeti.pet. Yeti Dog Chew. That would be the second one. So I'm gonna write it down. So I like Yeti Dog Chew because it does have that holder, which is very cool. Yeah, I think this is very good in the means of safety. I do think this is good, and I can see why they get an award. Hopefully, it's a real award, but I think it's pretty cool. So this two I would recommend, and let me know in the comments if you guys like other ones, or you know for sure that they are from Nepal, or they're just good quality. Okay. So now, what else should we talk about? Let's kind of round up, and maybe I will remember something else. So, yak dog chews made out of 3 to 4 ingredients: yak milk, cow milk, salt, and lime juice. That's what you want to look. And actually, mine is done correctly. It's saying yak and cow milk, Himalayan salt, and lime. So mine is okay. Mine actually is by a chewmate. But again, I will not be recommending this because I haven't done a research on it. I just bought it in a pet store and thought it was cool. So we're gonna, what is this happening here? I'm gonna close this off. I'm gonna open this. Okay, you can take screenshot if you need of this scribbles. They do have also bulk packs, so you can buy a bunch of them for cheaper. They, as what now we know, they are microwavable, but I recommend then buying it from the Yeti one because the choking hazard is legit. Then there is a softening option, as we talked. Put it in the water for a couple of minutes and let it soak. And they are packed by size. So if your dog is large, buy large. If your dog is small, buy small. And this is pretty much it. We are at 39 freaking minutes talking about a dog yak chew. Oh, I see you guys in the next one. That was definitely a deep dive. Remember to subscribe, like, and we do have now cool merch on the website. You can see here's good advice hat, and then I have a bad advice hat if you are into giving bad advice instead. So pretty cool. Like, subscribe, and I see you guys in the next one. And let me know if you have been using this and if you have had any problems with it, of course. I think Raven is waking up and it's time for lunch for me. Okay. Write a comment. Write a comment. Bye.